Hello, everyone, and welcome to Something to Talk About.
Hi, y'all.
I'm Jory. This is Meg, and we are so excited to bring you some really good stories, mostly Christmas-themed, coming out of the South this week.
We're just embracing the season. It's just very jolly around the office. We've been having our Christmas parties.
Yes.
And there's always good food around, but
That's
we have
true.
been really embracing the holidays around
Yeah,
here.
especially good food
Yes.
around the holidays. So this first story has a bumpy start, but don't worry, it has a happy ending. So it's Texas mom shares.
I like that pun, by the way, bumpy start.
Oh, yeah.
Which you'll get
You'll
here in a
catch
second.
on. I didn't even mean to do that, you know. Oh, gosh. Texas mom shares how 3 strangers saved her from a travel nightmare. And y'all, this is super relatable. We've all been there. Of course, this has to do with a mama and her 2 young boys, but I've had meltdowns in the airport with no children, completely by myself, just because of flight delays. So we've all been there. So it's actually a Texas mama with 2 young boys who was traveling from Disney World back to her home. And this video has since gone viral on Facebook because it's just so heartwarming. But her name is Becca Kinsley, and she has 2 young boys named James, who's 5 years old, and Wyatt, who's 2. And while they were waiting in line for security, one kid was screaming, the other one was exhausted. And the mom was on the verge of tears because she had lost her ID, and so she had been running around at the airport trying to find it.
Oh, that's so terrible.
That's like, that really is a nightmare.
I'm getting secondhand nightmares from this mom.
Cold chills. Like,
Yes.
that is terrifying. But she did find it, so she was in line waiting to get on the plane when her first, guardian angel showed up. Out of the blue, one mom stops the line and says, "Here, jump in front of me." So one sweet mom let her jump in front of the line, so she got up to the front, was able to get on. And then a few minutes later, she was trying to carry all of her luggage onto the plane with her 2 young boys, and somebody else actually offered to carry everything on for her.
Aww.
So she was like, "Here, just hand it all to me, I've got it." So that helped her out. And then on top of all of that, she walked them all the way to the gate with the luggage, so that just helped her out big time. And then while they were actually on the flight, her youngest, Wyatt, began to scream, and of course this mama was completely exhausted by then. So another fairy godmother offered to hold the little boy and held him and comforted him for the remainder of the flight. Wow. So she could get some rest and just hang out and be at peace for a little while. So I just think that it's not technically Christmas related, but I think it really puts me in the Christmas spirit. Just people say it takes a village, and I think that's so true, that like all these mamas just being like, "Look, I've been there, my kids are grown now, but I'm gonna help you out because I get what you're going through."
That is so true. I mean, I've always heard it takes a village, and it wasn't until I had my little boy that I realized that, and I don't know if it's just living in the deep South, but there is a village of mamas that are just always looking out for each other.
Yeah.
When I had Jack, so my friends added me to several mom Facebook groups, a couple here locally, one that's just kind of like moms in the Southeast. And you can ask them any question. I can't tell you how many times I see pictures of rashes on kids and moms being like, "Is this okay?" And it's usually just like dry skin or something.
Right.
But it is so comforting when you have it. They're like, "I've been there." I've told you this story before. I was in shopping in Publix when Jack was probably 5 or 6 months old. I had my arms full. And the Publix cashier held him for me while I checked out and paid and everything. And
yeah.
I just love this because I would be in tears myself. If my child was, I would be crying with him and just like trying to be invisible. Because I have been that obnoxious person on a flight before I had kids who's like, "Oh, I can't believe someone brought a baby on this plane."
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, I was so terrible.
Yeah, we gotta have sympathy because, of course, I think that mom probably wants a kid to quiet down even more than you do. So
yes,
have some grace.
True. That is so true.
But I just love that story. I think it's definitely Southern folks banding together, and especially moms. So
yeah, and something to keep in mind as we all hit the road and hit the skies this
true.
Christmas season to kind of maybe this will inspire us.
Yeah,
extend a little grace, a little helping hand.
A little help hand. Yep.
And if we're in this situation, hopefully we'll have our little angels there to help us.
Yes,
too.
she handled it well though, because like I said, I've been alone and had a meltdown in the airport several times. So she's doing better than she thinks she's doing.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, kind of sticking with our, I guess our cold season.
Yeah.
I know some of our folks up, especially in North Carolina, just got hit with some major snow this week. The pictures look beautiful, but I know that is such a headache.
It is,
I have a friend that does news in Durham, North Carolina, and I was watching his pictures and video, and it looked beautiful, but extreme. So I know everybody's cold in the South, even though we are starting to warm up a little bit here in Birmingham today, but We love our pets. They're part of the family. And when I did work in news, we had a saying that I felt like we said every year when it got cold, that if it's too cold outside for you, it is probably too cold for your pets. So bring them inside, or there are other things you can do if you have outdoor animals that can keep them warm in the cold winter months. So just a few tips for y'all. Dogs, you can actually buy heated dog houses.
That's so cool.
They have those available. Yeah, heated dog houses. You can do a heated mat. They even make mini furnaces to go inside dog houses. So that's like the easy way to keep your dog warm. Which actually, when we posted this story on Southern Living's Facebook page, I loved one of our readers' comments who said, "My dog has a heated dog house. It's called my house."
Yeah, exactly.
Which is definitely my dog as well.
Right. My dog's an inside dog through and through.
Yes, but I did grow up with outside dogs. You know, this we call outside dogs. They stayed outside most of the time. So we would do some of these tricks to kind of make sure their dog houses were warm. You can also winterize your existing dog house if you're not fancy and you don't have like a furnace for your dog. Check for cracks or holes, and if you see any, you can patch them up. Another thing that actually helps keep pets' houses warm is to pull them off the ground so they're not just on the cold ground. You can lift them with just like a pallet or something to just keep them off the ground, especially, you know, if it's raining. I feel like here in Birmingham, it's been cold and wet for like the past month. Yeah. So just keeping your pets' homes off that cold ground. You can also line the inside with like a mat. We used to do old bath mats my mom would give us. We put them in the bottom of our dog's house. You can also do straw or cedar chips. Some dogs like to burrow down in those. I grew up having a dachshund, and dachshunds love to burrow. Now, he was an inside dog, but I know that dachshunds do love to like burrow in the dirt, and they would probably love some cedar chips in their bed. And another good tip is you don't want your dog's house, like the opening, to face the wind. So you want to position it away, or you can actually position their dog house right up against your house, and that will help block wind from one side too and keep them pretty warm.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so keep your pets warm. And if you have any tips, we would love to hear your like how you keep your pets warm in the winter. My dog has a little fleece coat I found at Target for him one year that I put on him that once or twice a year it snows in Birmingham.
Oh gosh, yeah, keep your pets warm. It makes me sad to think of a chilly puppy outside, so.
Yeah, and your pet, you know, if you have southern pets, they probably have thin blood like the
they're
rest
not
of us.
used to it. They don't know what to do with the snow.
Oh, no.
Oh, guys, this next story may or may not shock you. So sit down and listen. It turns out that a survey finds that 66% of parents would cancel Christmas and do this instead.
Cancel Christmas?
Cancel Christmas. Stop Santa's sleigh. Do what, you might ask? And that is travel, which... You know.
I try not to travel.
I think it's like a vacation style travel.
Okay.
Yeah, so 66% of parents say they would rather travel than stay home and have like a traditional Christmas. It was a survey done by Trafalgar, I think is how you say it. It's 2,500 people were surveyed, and 66% said they would rather travel. 78 responded they would prefer to buy a vacation for a loved one instead of giving a physical gift. Which I think is cool. I ask for that all the time. I've actually posted on my Instagram, and I said, for anyone who's asking, I wear a size window seat in plane tickets because I would just much rather like have a memory than like something, but that's just me. Turns out stress levels rise for parents around like 41% over the holidays. So I think it would just be a way for them to escape some of the stresses of the holiday season. I don't know what that all is about, but I'm sure it's a lot. And what's interesting is sometimes it's not quite, it's not too much more expensive to go on a vacation versus buy all the presents and do all the things for Christmas. So the survey says that around parents spend around $800 to $1,200 on each child for Christmas, and then that 56% of parents actually spend up to $5,000.
Wow.
Per child. So that's a lot of money. And Trafalgar pointed out that a week in Europe for a family of 4 without flights on their guided 7-day Irish Highlands trip through 10 cities only costs $3,900. So it's like, depending on how much you spend on gifts and that sort of thing.
I guess if you're spending $5,000 on your kid, then that's a deal, but.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I'm like, what are you getting? I don't think I got that much, but like.
No.
I do remember waking up one Christmas morning and didn't have any presents, but instead there was like a big banner of New York City and like 2 plane tickets, and we left 2 days later, and that was like one of my favorite Christmases ever.
That's awesome.
So I think if you're, in the right time, your kids are old enough, and I think it could be a really cool alternative for sure.
We're kind of doing that this year. I mean, if my 1-year-old is watching, turn off the YouTube, Jack. About to give your Christmas secrets away. So he is getting a Tickle Me Elmo because he loves Elmo. But I got a deal. Walmart was running a great deal, $20. But we bought him tickets to the Children's Museum and the Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta. Okay. So a few days after Christmas, we're going to drive over to Atlanta, spend the night, and take him to the aquarium. Because they have whales and dolphins and all kinds of things.
I love that.
And I just can't wait to see his reaction when he sees like a beluga whale. Right. And then we're going to do the Children's Museum in Atlanta. That's supposedly really great too.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Collect some memories for sure.
Yes.
I feel like for the most part I would love it, but there would be some things I would miss if I was really gone all of Christmas, like my Mimi's banana pudding or like just sitting by the tree and opening presents. And I don't know, there's something really special about being home for Christmas.
That's true.
That's why they wrote a song about it.
My mom makes homemade mini cinnamon rolls for Christmas morning, which we're not going to be in Mississippi on Christmas morning, but we're going to do it Christmas Eve morning. And I'm already looking forward to those mini cinnamon rolls. She has to make like 3 pans because as our family's expanded
so quickly
with husbands and things and now kids, we will just stand over her island and just eat those straight out of the pan. They're so good.
So I think I definitely wouldn't do it every Christmas, but maybe once every couple of years to travel away would be, a neat alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And sticking with that Christmas holiday theme, so we've all heard of FOMO, fear of missing out, but there's this new trend that I love and I'm just going to fully embrace called JOMO with a J, joy of missing out.
Yes.
So the idea is, social media kind of can feed that comparison issues, and then you see people out enjoying fun and you're like, where's my invite? Which I kind of do when I see a lot of cars on my street at someone's house. I'm like, someone's having a party and they didn't invite me. But this is like appreciating the fact that you are not there or taking part, or you said no to that party because you would rather just do something else that's more fulfilling for yourself. Because we all need that recharge time. So it's appreciating, putting the phone down and not looking at everyone's Christmas parties, and appreciating the fact that you're staying in cozy and watching a Hallmark movie marathon that night. Or you've decided to go for a walk and look at the Christmas decorations in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So Google's saying that they are seeing this huge trend of people Googling like joy of missing out, JOMO.
JOMO, I love it.
As well as mindfulness, meditation music. It seems to be there's this trend where people are really trying to be more mindful, more centered, taking a break from tech and all the social media, which I love. I mean, I was talking to one of my really good friends who told me she's trying to be more mindful, and it's just really helps her. She's one of those people that just worries about the world. She reads the news and it just overwhelms her, and she just worries about all the things happening in the world. So she has to practice mindfulness where she's like, if I'm doing something, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to be listening to the news or checking Twitter or this or that. And she says it's really helped her outlook, and she feels more positive. So that is the trend. There's a book apparently that's become a bestseller, The Joy of Missing Out, Finding Balance in a Wired World.
I love that because I felt this certain emotion for a long time where I'm just like, I get so excited when plans get canceled, and I'm just like on my couch, and so now that it's been labeled JOMO, I'm like, this is great. Now I have like a trendy word to set to my emotion that's been there for a long time.
Yeah, we've all been there. I mean, even I feel like most social, outgoing person can appreciate a break every now and then from a busy schedule. I'm typically very introverted, so I love being at home on my couch. And I kind of do like sometimes when like my friends flake or plans get canceled, because I'm like, well, it's not me flaking, but I'm going to totally appreciate
Enjoy this.
Yeah, and so I think it is enjoying those things that come up and not feeling like you have to be at every party or do every little thing just to keep up with the Joneses on Instagram,
I love that story. Next up, someone who probably never experiences JOMO because she's invited to everything.
Her girl crush.
Yeah, Miss Jennifer Garner, one of our favorite Southern celebrities. She's fabulous because she's so real, so authentic, funny. If you guys don't know, you should follow her on Instagram because she has something called a pretend cooking show, which is so funny. She does actually cook, but it's very low-key, chill, like funny, and she's just kind of poking fun at herself the whole time. So recently, in her latest episode, she woke up at 5:30 in the morning. Props to you, Jen.
She is super mom.
She is. I'm like, it's so funny. She kept opening the cabinet, and then it would close on her and make a loud noise, and she'd be like, shh, to the cabinet because her kids are still sleeping. So good. But she actually, without even realizing it, gave us a really good baking tip. So she was making this chocolate bread recipe at 5:30 a.m., as I mentioned, and she forgot to soften her butter. So it was still in the freezer or fridge.
I feel like I'm there every time I bake.
Yeah.
I get to the point, use the butter, and it's supposed to be softened, and it's still in the fridge.
It's frustrating for sure because you have to wait, and you don't want to melt it because it doesn't call for melted butter; it calls for softened. So she just whipped out a cheese grater and grated her butter, and that softened it, and she threw it in, and it turned out perfectly.
That is so smart.
So I don't know if that's been around for a while, but I've, a lot of the women in my family bake. I've watched them, and I've never seen them take a cheese grater to a butter stick, but it worked out great. She wasn't even like, oh, this is a cool tip. She just did it like it was second nature. So
she's a genius.
She is. And I think the chocolate bread turned out amazingly, and yeah, so just a really quick little tip, and I'm sure everyone's going to be doing more baking this time of year. So if you forgot to soften your butter, fear not. Just use your cheese grater.
So, Southern Living's, one of our biscuit recipes calls for you to grate the butter in.
Okay.
And I just thought it was like the baking for whatever you needed the grated. But, baking is so scientific and technical.
Yeah.
But I didn't put two and two together that could be a tip for
softening butter.
Softening it. Yeah. What I do sometimes is when I haven't softened it, I turn the oven on to preheat it, and then I just put the stick on top of the oven to kind of like melt, soften it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's how I heat up like sauces and stuff. I'll do that.
Oh, that's smart too.
Like on my orange peel chicken, I'm heating up the sauce on the stove because I don't want it to be hot. But anyway, that's another story.
I'm gonna try Jen's trick because one, she does it, and we all want to be like her.
If she does it, I want to do it.
Yes, I think I was telling Sid, our editor-in-chief, this a few weeks ago, that when I went through Rush and I got to the Pi Phi house, Pi Beta Phi, they had their little video about them. They said that Jennifer Garner was one, and I had planned to pledge the sorority my mom was in, which I did eventually doing. But when they told me that, I was ready to pledge on the spot. Like, I want to be a Pi Phi because Jennifer Garner was a Pi Phi.
To be your sister. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. She is awesome.
She is.
So fun. Well, that's all the stories we have, but Meg, do you have a must-have this week?
Yes, it's our last episode before Christmas.
Yes.
We covered so much Christmas stuff. I thought, this is not new, but I thought I would share one of my favorite gifts I got last year from my husband. Oh. And this flies in the face of our JOMO story about taking a break from tech. So just... I know it's hypocritical, but I'm a complex person, and that's just how it goes. All right. So last year was our first Christmas with a baby, and I had I have a Apple Watch, I've got a phone and an iPad, and then we had the baby monitor, and I have two outlets next to my bed, and I was constantly switching out like what was getting charged, and stuff was I was a mess. My life was a mess.
Wires are tangled.
Yes.
The whole nine.
So my husband this was in my stocking last year. It is a he calls it an octopus charger, I think. I don't know if that's the right word. But it's got 4 outlets here for it to plug in. And so it's just like I don't know the technical terms for things, but it's the end that like all charging devices is the same.
It's like the USB type.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jory. She keeps me up to date on the technical terms.
That is really cool, though.
But yes, I can plug Apple products in. I can plug like his monitor, which is not Apple, so it's got a little different end that goes in the device. And so now everything is charged every night. Amazing. I just put it next to my bed. Phone, watch, baby monitor, and then one more.
Extra.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I've seen the ones that are like power strips that go on your floor and the whole charger has to go in and they're bulky. So this is like a better alternative because it's sleek, it's tiny, it doesn't take up much space. That's a really good one.
And now we travel with it, so my husband can use it when we travel, and so you just need one cube for the whole family, and it's perfect. So that was my gift last year. Again, I know it's not new, but it was the most useful,
worth mentioning
favorite
again.
Things. I got. So if you are looking for last minute stocking stuffers or ideas, this is the option. I have seen some new ones that's actually just like a tray that you plug in and then everything lays on top of it and charges in some like
I don't know if I trust that
magical way. I don't know how it works, but they run like over $100, and I'm sure my husband got this for not very much on Amazon. So
That's awesome.
That was my favorite Christmas gift last year.
That's a great one. Well, that's all the stories we have for you guys this week. Meg and I are heading out soon at the end of this week for our little Christmas vacay.
Yes.
And of course, we want you guys to, unplug, spend time with your family and friends. So we will not be back until 2019.
Yeah, we're going to take a JOMO break.
Yeah, JOMO.
For a couple weeks.
Yes, hashtag JOMO.
Yes, get off YouTube for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next year.
Yes, in 2019.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.